Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome to SOS Saving Our Sex Lives One Bedroom at a Time. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and I am so happy that you are here with me this evening. Man, we got a good one tonight, you guys. Oh, we got a good one tonight. We are unlocking your sex languages tonight. We are breaking down the erotic blueprint. I'm so excited. I love this topic and I love introducing people to their different sexual languages. But first, as always, I want to shout out the people who are here. Mr. Ben, faithful, number one, right on point with his comments and questions. So shout out to Ben. Hey, Vashawn. Hi, JJ. Hey, Lindsay. If you are here, say hello. Let me know you are here. All right, Mr. Ben. I read your comments because obviously you were here early and I appreciate that. I saw that you said you'll be setting up an appointment, and the only question that you asked me is healing possible on a budget. I'm going to say to you, reach out, make that discovery call, have a conversation uh, with Hassani, with it may be our administrative support, but someone will be able to assist you. Just make the call. Make the call, make the call, make the call. Hi, Kelly. Hi, I think it's Keetalyn and Yashana, Charmaine, Kenny. Hello. Thank you for letting me know that you're here. I appreciate that. Hi, Lady Z. Again, thank you for letting me know that you're here. Thank you for joining me. And I'm excited. I'm ready to jump right in and get into it. All right. So, first and foremost, I said that I'm introducing you to the erotic blueprint. I don't know who's heard of it. I'm not sure if you're here, you've heard of it. Cool. Hey, Kathy. Hi, Gonzalez. Team Smith in the house. You may not be familiar with erotic blueprint, or you may be. I don't know where you are, but that's okay. We're going to be breaking it down on a deeper level if you have heard of it before. And so the first thing I want to do is give you guys an idea of where the blueprints actually came from. So, internationally recognized somatic sexologist Miss Jaya noticed that she was experiencing different pathways to experiencing intimacy, arousal, orgasm, and climax with her clients. Those different arousal pathways actually began to organize themselves into some pretty consistent patterns. So she started to be able to use those consistent patterns with pinpoint accuracy to help her clients break through blocks that had plagued them for their entire lives. Those consistent patterns became 5 distinctive erotic types, which we now know as the erotic blueprints. Now, how do you discover your language? Well, there's actually an online quiz that you can take. The basic quiz is free, and the in depth one is just $17. So, after you take the quiz, you will know your primary blueprint type, and hopefully, you take it with your partner, and then you'll know their primary blueprint type too. Your primary blueprint type is the language that you're most fluent in speaking when it comes to sexuality. It's the language that your body understands and responds to immediately with ease. It's actually the erotic language that gives you the most immediate access to arousal and turn on, and it's where your sexuality feels most at home. Some people actually will, after taking the quiz and they get their results, they'll see that they have same or similar percentages on more than one blueprint. And that's okay. It's likely accurate that you have more than one primary blueprint type. And honestly, this is great news. Why? Because it means that you have many pathways to igniting arousal and accessing sexual satisfaction. So that's a good thing. I have to tell you guys too, when I learned about erotic blueprint, it reminded me a lot of the 5 love languages, not in the sense that they have similarities in the characteristics of them, but just that their languages, specific languages, right? The same way that the erotic blueprint is. And oddly enough, which actually blew my whole mind. I actually have two primary love languages. And I ended up having two primary erotic blueprint types. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So good. So hopefully you guys will actually Google the erotic blueprint, go on, get your blueprint type, and begin to learn a little bit more about yourself and about your partner. So now I want to talk about some barriers to actually achieving your pleasure. There's a woman by the name of Emily Nagoski. She wrote a book. It's called Come As You Are. And it actually speaks about the accelerator and the brakes in your sex life. The accelerator is what puts the fuel on your arousal and desire, and the brakes are what turn off your arousal and desire. So if you think of, again, accelerator and brakes, and think about different sexual acts. And we talked about foreplay, and we talked about the reasons why women say no and why husbands say no. And sometimes the things that we talked about, they can act as accelerators or brakes. So you have to be able to identify what your individual accelerators and brakes are in yourself and also in your partner. Now, there's something that's a part of erotic blueprint also that's called the shadows. So if you think of your shadows of your blueprint type as the things that actually extinguish your arousal or extinguish your sexual fire, shadows actually can originate from a trauma or any type of challenges that you may be facing, physical injuries, biochemical imbalances, and actual energetic disturbances in the body. So one of the things that we have to do if we want to completely unlock all of the magic that is coupled with your blueprint type is to heal your shadows. That is one of the most effective things you can do to increase your arousal, desire, pleasure, and connection with your partner. The shadows are only shadows if they actually interrupt your connections and decrease your arousal. So you may not be operating in any of the shadows, but if you are, it's necessary that you heal those. The way that you do that is to get with a professional, get with a practitioner. They can walk you through, they can help you. I can help, I can assist. But definitely you want to make sure that you work on healing from any traumas, challenges, injuries, biochemical imbalances, and any type of energetic disturbances that might be going on in the body. So there are times where honestly, as practitioners, we have to refer out because it just depends on how intense or severe the situation is and what your past history is with sex. And so those are things that we uncover as we're going through our sessions together. So again, if there's nothing major, no major trauma going on, then I think you should be in a good place where you can move forward with discovering what your blueprint type is. Okay. So we're going to take a quick break and then we are actually going to get into these blueprint types. Okay. See you in a bit.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
So we are definitely ready to dive in and get into these erotic blueprint languages. So excited. Cannot wait. All right, so I have some visuals here for you guys to help you out. So just give me 1 second. I think we're going to start with, we'll start with sexual. That is the most common blueprint type. And the sexual is actually what we think of as sex in our culture. These beings are turned on by porn, naked bodies, genitals, etc. Typically considered the easiest to please. This type is also known to have less shame about sex than any other of the groups. Their view of sex is often so focused on what society portrays as normal that they might be likely to think anything that doesn't involve intercourse or penetration isn't sex at all. So your sexual being is one that again wants that traditional version of sex, penis, vaginal intercourse. Of course, they will be into potentially even anal as well. Um, but your traditional view of sex, that's your sexual. And they're more focused and concerned about the end game than they are the journey to get there. Okay, so that's your sexual. Alrighty, so the next one is actually the energetic. These types are known to have orgasms without touch. Crazy, right? I mean, they tend to feel more with less. These types might engage in yoga and meditation, like these may be activities that they turn to naturally. Some energetics often find themselves craving the feel of longing, eye gazing, or hovering touch. And so it's important to keep an open line of communication with energetic blueprints because they can get overwhelmed easily with stimulation or underwhelmed by a lack of presence from their partner. So you definitely need to make sure that you are checking in with your energetic because again, literally, you don't even have to touch them. And that's enough for them. They crave that energy, that connection with their spouse, and again, just feeling as if they are speaking to each other without words. And so if you get an energetic, you have to do more internal work than external work with an energetic. But still, a lot of fun. Just like the sexual. All right, so the next one is the sensual. Okay, so with the sensual, this blueprint is all about engaging the senses. In their everyday life, they're probably really big on filling their space with textures, listening to music that they quote unquote feel, and surrounding themselves with beautiful scenery. During sex, they will most likely enjoy massages, essential oils, and lots of lingering touch. The really cool thing about sensual blueprints is that they can have full body orgasms beyond their partner's touch. A beautiful sunset or perfectly curated food can do it for them. So you have a sensual if they are into, again, like they want to taste certain things, they want to smell certain things. So if you just think about creating that space for intimacy, right? There may be some music playing, there's a candle burning, or some type of maybe one of those wax warmers or essential oils or a diffuser in there. So there's a certain smell in the room, different textures on the bed. There may be different items in there that they can actually play with to give them sensory stimulation, soft things, harder things that you actually can use to caress their skin and to touch them because again, they want all of their senses ignited. Lighting is really important too. That's the visual part. The music is the auditory. The candle, oil, diffuser, that smell. There may be something edible in there. There's edible underwear. There's actually chocolate. There's ice. There's fruit, wine, maybe something to drink. So something that they can taste. And again, the feel, of course, could be a myriad of things. Okay, but your sensual is definitely going to have different items in that space so that they are stimulated in all of their senses, or as many of their senses as possible. All right. So the next one is the kinky. And I have to tell you, the kinky actually gets a bad rap. They do all the time because we are so we're so programmed to think that kinky looks this one particular way, when in actuality it can look so many different ways. So we've all heard the term kinky, but do you actually know what it means? These types are actually turned on by creativity and exploration. They're aroused by the taboo. Oftentimes, these types can feel a sense of shame or repression regarding their sexual desires because they may not view themselves as quote unquote normal. But out of all of the types, besides the last one that I'll share with you, the kinky type is known to have the most play. Some things they may enjoy are switching between dominant and submissive role play, spanking, or introducing bondage toys. So again, a lot of times when people think about kinky, they think about BDSM, they think about, the leather and the ball in the mouth with the, they think about the handcuffs and being tied up. And again, people have many, many different views and perspectives on it, but it can be what you make it. And so that's where communication comes in. And as always, I told you every single episode we're going to talk about communication because it's critical and it's key. So the communication piece is getting an understanding of what does it for your partner, what stimulates them. Again, what's the accelerator and what's the brakes, and not judging for whatever it is that they may enjoy that may be different for you. Okay. All right. So the very last one is the shapeshifter. And the shapeshifter, man, is a very powerful being. I mean, all of these types of powerful beings, but I must say that this erotically sophisticated blueprint can bounce between different types based on different partners or experience multiple blueprints all at once. Wow. They're referred to as the whole smorgasbord by Miss Giant. This type is known to be an empathic lover, since they are able to adjust and feel all of the blueprints. They're known also for enjoying discovery. So they may be fond of layering different types of play, using different toys, trying new trends in the realm of sex to constantly evolve their knowledge. So again, the shapeshifters on a different level, you guys, because again, they're able to conform, and they're able to bend and converge and mold themselves into whatever the type is of their spouse. So shapeshifters, pretty cool. Like I said, all of these are cool, but the shapeshifter is one that again just is able to easily adjust to the wants, needs, desires of their partner. Okay, so what are the steps to breaking through incompatibility, enjoying orgasmic frequency, and being turned on for life? Number one, discover your blueprint. Take the quiz, take it by yourself, take it with your partner, go over the results, let each other know what your different languages are, and then book a session with me so I can really help you guys dig deeper and incorporate these blueprints into your sex life. Number two, heal your shadows if there are shadows to be healed. Again, this could be from trauma, from past experiences that you had with another partner. There could be so many different things that are going on. So you really want to focus on healing your shadows. And again, a practitioner can assist you on that journey and help facilitate that for you. Number three, you want to speak the blueprints. Okay, so some words upset while others titillate. Using the right words vocal tone and body language can create a symphony of arousal and heighten your level of ecstasy. There's an enormous amount of seductive power in knowing exactly what to say and how to say it. Imagine if you were able to whisper the right thing in your husband's ear and he'd be immediately stimulated and turned on. And vice versa. If you were to whisper one thing in your wife's ear and she was immediately turned on, this is what the erotic blueprint can do for you. And number 4, feed your blueprint. Once you discover what your language is, speak it. Speak your language. Speak your spouse's language. And I will say to you guys again, it is so important that you all have these conversations. So important that you have these conversations with each other to make sure that you understand how you move your will crave longing, eye gazing, and hovering touch. And this is the one you have to be careful with because they can easily get overwhelmed with stimulation. Okay. On the flip side of that, if they're not getting enough of that stimulation, they'll be underwhelmed by the lack of presence from their partner and then maybe turned off and not want to engage in sexual activity. All right. The third one was the sensual, and this is the one that wants to engage all of the senses. They want visual, they want auditory, they want taste, they want touch, smell, all of that. So they want all of their senses ignited and stimulated all at once, if possible. Um, the really cool thing about the sensual blueprints again is that they can have full body orgasms beyond their partner's touch. It could literally be the example I gave before was like a sunset, a beautiful sunset, or a food, a certain type of food literally can do it for them. Okay. And then the fourth one was the kinky. That's the one that I said, they're aroused by the taboo and they're really turned on by creativity and exploration, right? They just, I said they get a bad rap because oftentimes they're viewed as the weirdos, right? And that they want to try all of these non-traditional, unconventional things. But really, like I said, kinky can be what you make it. Some people go really, really deep and far into it, and others are just into maybe some soft bondage, or maybe just a little bit of spanking. Maybe they have a little paddle, soft paddle. So anyway, it can be so many different things, and it's really about what you and your partner are into and what you're okay with. And the last one was the shapeshifter, and I told you I always get excited about the shapeshifter because they are able to bounce between different types based on their partner, and they can experience multiple blueprints all at once. So again, the shapeshifter is the one that's able to really bend and modify and adjust based off of who they're with. And as I said, the steps to breaking through incompatibility in your relationship, enjoying orgasmic frequency, and being turned on for life is to first discover your blueprint. Second, heal your shadows if there are shadows to be healed. speak the blueprints, make sure you're speaking the right language to your partner, and then, of course, feed your blueprint. Feed your blueprint. Okay. Um, oh my goodness, you guys, you are telling me that you don't hear audio. And I am not sure why you are not hearing me. All right, you guys, let me know if you can hear me. Thank you. They're like, we can hear you now. All right. So, because you guys said that the background music was a little loud for you, and I guess you were having difficulty hearing me, I ran through the erotic blueprints again for you and told you the steps that you actually can follow to make sure that you're actually getting to experience everything that you want to experience. All right. So, did you guys have questions about any of the different blueprints? If you do, drop those questions, but I'll just give you a brief overview again of all of them. The sexual is our traditional view of sex, what we think of sex in our culture. These folks are turned on by porn, naked bodies, genitals, penis, vaginal intercourse, traditional views of what we think of as sex in our culture. Okay. And one of the things I will say about the sexual blueprint type is that they often feel like if there's no intercourse or penetration, then it's not sex at all. So if you are not the sexual blueprint type and you are married to a sexual blueprint type, you may have some difficulty there because you may be craving something more than just intercourse or penetration. And the sexual is like, that's the end game. That's the focus. That's what we're trying to do. Like, what else is there? So, you really have to, if you're the sexual blueprint type, you have to really be open to expanding your mind and exploring further beyond just intercourse and penetration, right? Because there's so much more, so much more. All right, then the second one was the energetic, and this is the type that can have orgasms without touch. And I keep saying that is so crazy. To me, it's like awesome, but they tend to feel more with less, and they turn to yoga and meditation naturally, right? They crave the feeling of longing, eye gazing, hovering touch. And so with this blueprint, you have to keep the open line of communication with them, because they can get overwhelmed easily with stimulation, or underwhelmed if they're not getting enough stimulation or there's a lack of presence from their partner. But the energetic, again, is all about that connection internally more so than external. All right. And then the third one is the sensual. And that's the one that's really big on stimulating all of their senses at the same time. And I gave you guys an analogy of creating a space for intimacy that has all of the senses in mind. So there could be soft music playing in the background because that's the auditory stimulation. There could be something edible in there because that's taste, right? That could be a glass of wine, it could be fruit, it could be chocolate, it could be edible underwear. I don't know, but something that is taste. And then there may be candles, or the wax melt warmer in there, or like a diffuser. So there's a certain smell in the room. And then there may be soft lighting or red lights, or just something that is good for them visually as well. And then there may be different items in there for play that are different textures that can be put on the skin to stimulate. There may be soft to hard to metal to anything that might scratch a little bit, something that might pinch. So different textures create different sensations, and they will probably have a mixture of all of those. Okay, and then the next one was the kinky. And again, I'm saying, we've all heard that term, but do we really know what it means? And I cannot stress enough that the kinky, they are turned on by creativity and exploration. They're aroused by the taboo, and they can feel a lot of times shame or repression because they're not, society often doesn't view them as normal, which in turn causes them to possibly not view themselves as normal. And out of all of the types, besides the last one, this is the type, the kinky type is the one that's known to have the most play. And they might enjoy switching between dominant and submissive role play, spanking, or even introducing bondage. And again, that's one of the things that, people often think of when they think about the kinky. They think about BDSM, they think about bondage, they think about the ball in the mouth with the leather and chains and ropes and, all these different things. And they could include that. But what's most important is what you and your partner feel most comfortable with. Okay. And the last one, excuse me, is the shapeshifter. And this one is the most erotically sophisticated out of all the blueprint types because they can bounce between different types based on different partners, or they can even experience multiple blueprints all at once. Okay, so they're the whole smorgasbord, according to Miss Jaya. They're known to be empathic lovers because they're able to adjust and feel all of the blueprints. Okay, so they're known for enjoying discovery. So again, they may layer different types of play using different toys, trying new trends, because they're trying to constantly evolve their knowledge. All right, and so steps to breaking through incompatibility, enjoying orgasmic frequency, and being turned on are to: one, discover your blueprint; two, heal your shadows if there are shadows to be healed; speak the blueprints; and then feed your blueprint. Okay, so I hope this helped you guys. I'm sorry that you weren't able to hear me. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to the audio, but hopefully you guys were able to get something out of this. And again, if you want to go deeper into discovering your blueprint, seeing how that can help you in your relationship, definitely reach out, book a session, make that discovery call, and let's set it up and let's get it going. But the most important thing that I want to share with you guys too is to make sure that you don't judge each other's blueprints. That is so important because a lot of times when we do get married, we're not speaking the same sexual language. You have one type, your spouse has a different type, and often we're looking at each other saying, what's wrong with you? No, it's not me, it's you, right? And really, we should not be judging because we're all different. We all have different experiences. What stimulates you may not stimulate me, vice versa. So we have to have those conversations with each other and not judge the fact that we may have different preferences and we also may speak different languages. So I want to tell you guys, I have a surprise for you next week. I will have a guest with me next week. And when I tell you, you're going to love this guest. You're going to love the conversation. I'm not telling you the topic. You just have to show up. But I'm not telling you who the guest is either. But I'm looking forward to sharing this guest and having this dialogue and conversation with you guys. Again, I hope this was helpful for you and that you will go and take the quiz and learn what your erotic blueprint type is, your primary, and see if you have more than one. You may have two primary erotic blueprint types, and definitely learn to one of your spouse and you guys have conversation. That is what's most important. So I want to thank you. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I will see you next week. Bye.